Chapter 1. Lucy.
There are many ways to ruin your career. Missing deadlines, insulting clients, replying all to an email that absolutely should not have been replied all to. But at Vale Industries, there is one method guaranteed to destroy your professional future. Disappointing Aria Vale. I sit at the end of the boardroom table and watch a vice president actively make that mistake. The boardroom itself is gorgeous. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city skyline. Morning sunlight glints off glass towers and polished steel. The table alone probably cost more than my first car. Everything is sleek, expensive, and intimidating. Which is fitting, because the woman sitting at the head of the table is all three. Aria Vale doesn't need to raise her voice to dominate a room. She simply exists. At 34, she's the youngest CEO in company history. Multiple degrees, business magazines adore her, investors worship her, competitors fear her, employees fear her more. I should know. I've been her executive secretary for 5 years. 5 years of managing schedules, screening calls, organizing meetings, preventing disasters, and ensuring the company continues functioning around the gravitational force that is Aria Vale. The vice president finishes his presentation. The room falls silent. Nobody breathes. Aria flips to the next slide. Then the next. Then another. Slowly. Methodically. Dangerously. I recognize the signs immediately. The poor man is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet. Aria's face remains perfectly expressionless. That's somehow worse. Her features belong in a luxury perfume advertisement. High cheekbones, a sharp jawline, full lips that rarely smile, dark brows that seem faintly unimpressed by the world around her. Her hair is midnight black, smooth and glossy, gathered into a sleek low ponytail at the nape of her neck. Not a single strand is out of place. Nothing about Aria Vale is ever out of place. Her charcoal suit looks custom-made, because it is custom-made. The silver watch on her wrist probably costs more than my yearly grocery budget. She wears power the way other people wear perfume, effortlessly. The vice president shifts nervously. Aria sets down the presentation packet. Then she asks, very calmly, "Did anyone proofread this?" Silence. The kind of silence that should legally qualify as a workplace hazard. Across the table, several department heads suddenly find their notepads fascinating. The vice president clears his throat. We were rushed. Oh no. No, no, no. Never tell Aria Vale that something was rushed. I've seen people survive worse. Aria folds her hands together. Rushed. The vice president nods. Yes. Her expression doesn't change. Excellent. For one brief moment, relief flashes across his face. Then Aria continues. Then you can explain to unemployment why deadlines defeated you. The room collectively stops breathing. The former vice president goes pale. Aria stands. The movement is graceful, controlled, final. Human resources will contact you regarding next steps. Nobody speaks. Nobody moves. Even the air conditioning sounds nervous. The former vice president gathers his papers with trembling hands and practically flees. The door closes behind him. Silence remains. Aria looks around the table. Now that we've addressed quality control, shall we continue? Every head nods immediately. I lower my eyes to hide a smile. Every woman in the office wanted to be Aria Vale. Every employee wanted to survive her. The meeting continues. Nobody makes another mistake. Not if they value continued employment. By noon, the entire building knows what happened. News travels faster than Wi-Fi around here. I sit at my desk outside Aria's office while answering emails and coordinating tomorrow's schedule. My desk is command central. I know where Aria is at all times. who she's meeting, what she needs, when she'll need it. More importantly, I know her preferences. All of them. Her coffee must be black. Not dark roast, not medium roast, specifically Ethiopian roast from a local cafe 3 blocks away. Her favorite tea is jasmine green tea. Not jasmine black tea, not jasmine herbal tea. She once spent 10 minutes explaining the difference to a confused assistant manager. The assistant manager cried afterward. Aria also has strong opinions about food. Very strong opinions. She eats strawberries, but only if they're sliced. Whole strawberries are apparently inefficient. I still don't know what that means. When I asked for clarification, she'd looked up from her laptop and said, "Have you ever met a trustworthy blueberry?" Then she'd return to work. I still don't have an answer. My phone buzzes. A calendar reminder. Investor meeting. Right. Aria left an hour ago, which means she'll return soon. Probably irritated. Investor meetings usually leave her irritated. 10 minutes later, the elevator doors open. And there she is. My heart immediately betrays me. As always.
Aria steps out of the elevator with the confidence of a queen returning to her kingdom. Her posture remains perfect. Her expression remains composed. Her scent reaches me before she does. Clean cedar wood, cool rain, expensive alpha. The scent is subtle, controlled, just like everything else about her. Unfortunately, my Omega instincts adore it. My skin prickles with heat. My fingers itch with the need to touch her perfect skin and inhale lungfuls of her alluring scent. I tell them to shut up. They ignore me. My body is lighting up with joy just from being around my Ice Queen boss. She has a powerful effect on me. Even though I'm an Omega, I'm not equally affected by every alpha scent. Aria's scent is special. I knew it the first day I started working for her. Her scent makes my mind feel clear and my body feel relaxed. That's why I'm able to work long hours around her without getting tired. Pleasing her gives me a huge surge of energy. Aria walks past my desk. Lucy. The sound of my name in her voice does ridiculous things to me. Welcome back. She nods once, then disappears into her office. I wait 30 seconds, long enough to be professional, not long enough to seem weird. Then I enter carrying her tea. Aria sits behind her desk. The massive windows behind her frame the city skyline. She looks like she owns the entire world, which, honestly, she probably could if she wanted. I place the tea beside her. That's when I notice it. A tiny wince, gone almost instantly. Most people wouldn't catch it. I do. 5 years of watching Aria Vale has made me an expert. Everything okay? She removes her glasses, pinches the bridge of her nose. Fine. She's not. I glance downward. Her heels, then her ankles, then the angry red blisters peeking above the edge of her shoes. Oh, those look painful. The investor meeting was across town, meaning she spent hours walking in those monsters. No wonder. I hesitate, then say carefully, "May I?" Aria looks up. "May you what?" I gesture toward her shoes. Realization flashes across her face, then exasperation, then something softer. "You know this isn't in your job description." "No, it definitely isn't." "Probably not." One corner of her mouth twitches, the closest thing Aria Vale gets to a smile. "Lucy." "Yes?" "You worry too much." I smile. Occupational hazard. A long pause, then she sighs. Fine. Victory. I move around the desk and kneel beside her chair. My pulse speeds up immediately. This is dangerous territory. Not professionally, emotionally. I carefully unfasten the straps of her heels. My fingers brush over her soft skin, and my stomach clenches immediately. Her skin is like velvet, and being so close to her skin, her scent is stronger. Butterflies dance in my stomach as her muscles clench under my touch. I feel powerful, making her respond to my touch even if it's not for the reasons I'd like. Her calves tense slightly, then relax. The relief on her face is immediate. Tiny, but visible. I slide the shoes off. When she closes her eyes and sighs, I feel like I've won a trophy. Making her happy makes me happy. I definitely have a crush on my boss, and I know it's hopeless, but that doesn't make it go away. I look down at her foot. The blisters are worse than I thought. They're swelling and her skin is red and broken. My chest tightens. You walked on these all morning? They were expensive shoes, and they helped me make the right impression on our investors. That's not an answer. It was close enough. I shake my head. Then I retrieve the small first aid kit I keep at my desk. Aria watches quietly while I disinfect the irritated skin. The office grows strangely silent. Just the two of us, the city beyond the windows, the soft sound of traffic far below. And Aria is watching me. I can feel her gaze, steady, thoughtful, warm in a way nobody else ever sees. When I'm finished, I stand. One moment. I disappear into the storage closet, then return with a pair of emergency flats. Because, of course, I have emergency flats. I've worked for Aria Vale for 5 years. Preparation is survival. She stares at them, then at me. You keep backup shoes? For you. They're your size. Why? I blink. The answer seems obvious. So your feet don't fall off. I always thought one of your heels would break someday, so I bought them as a backup. For a second, silence hangs between us. Then something shifts in her expression. Something gentle. Something that makes my chest ache. Thank you, Lucy. I help you claimed your expenses for those shoes. The words are simple, yet somehow they matter. Far too much. I help her into the flats. She flexes her feet experimentally. Relief immediately softens her features. Success! A ridiculous amount of satisfaction floods through me. If making Aria Vale's life easier was a love language, I was fluent. The realization hits me like it always does. Sudden, hopeless, dangerous. Because that's the problem. I don't just admire Aria Vale. I don't just respect her. I don't just enjoy working for her. I am hopelessly, painfully attracted to my alpha boss, to her sharp intelligence, her impossible competence, her dry humor, her hidden kindness. Everything. And nothing can ever come of it. She's the CEO. I'm her secretary. She comes from wealth and privilege. She has multiple college degrees and a stellar career. I come from ordinary stock. I have no degrees. Why would she even want me? I clear my throat. Do you need anything else? She shakes her head. No, thank you. There are boundaries for a reason. Lines that shouldn't be crossed. Lines that won't be crossed, no matter how my pulse races when she says my name, no matter how safe her scent makes me feel, no matter how beautiful she looks sitting behind that desk. Aria reaches for her tea. Our eyes meet briefly. Something warm flickers through her gray gaze. Then it's gone. The Ice Queen returns. I step back. Professional, composed, safe. Even as my heart quietly breaks all over again. Because some women belong in fairy tales, some women belong on magazine covers, and some women belong behind impossibly expensive desks, ruling empires with a glance. Aria Vale belongs to all three, and she will never belong to me.
Chapter 2. Lucy. By 8:30 at night, I am questioning every life choice that brought me here. Not the big choices. Not my career, not becoming Aria Vale's secretary. Those were excellent decisions. I'm questioning the decision to skip my second suppressant dose. Technically, I didn't skip it. I postponed it. There's a difference, a very important difference. Unfortunately, my body disagrees. I've felt slightly off all day. A little nauseous, a little tired, a little warm. I was afraid I'd go into heat, so I took a dose of suppressant early in the morning. Suppressants always leave me with headaches. I'd figured I could make it through the rest of the workday and take them when I got home. Now I only need 2 signatures before I can leave for the day. 2. Then I can leave. I gather the folders against my chest and walk toward Aria's office. The executive floor is nearly empty. Most employees went home hours ago. Only a few lights remain on throughout the building. The city beyond the windows glitters against the darkness. I knock. Come in. My stomach immediately does something embarrassing. Even after 5 years, Aria's voice affects me. I open the door. Then stop, because Aria looks different. Not dramatically, just enough. Enough that my heart skips a beat. She's sitting behind her desk with her legs stretched out, ankles crossed, reading a file. Her jacket is gone. The top buttons of her white shirt are undone. Her sleeves are rolled up. Most shocking of all, her hair has partially escaped its bun. Dark strands frame her face, softening her sharp edges, making her look less like a terrifying CEO and more like an actress in a movie, a devastatingly attractive actress. My brain immediately forgets how to function. Dangerous. Very dangerous. Aria glances up. One eyebrow rises. Lucy? I clear my throat. Sorry. For what? For staring. The corner of her mouth twitches. You've had 5 years to get used to my face? Unfortunately, it remains distracting. The words leave my mouth before I can stop them. Oh no. Oh no. Why would I say that? Aria looks amused. Actually amused. Is that so? I immediately hand her the folders. Please sign these. A smooth recovery. I try. You fail. I know, but as soon as these are signed, I'll have completed my tasks for the day. Can I leave? Sure. She accepts the folders. I sit in the chair opposite her desk while she flips through pages. The office feels different at night. Quieter. More intimate. Dangerously intimate. The city lights reflect against the glass walls. Everything feels softened somehow, including Aria. Especially Aria. She signs the first document, then the second, then pauses. Did accounting survive today? I groan. There was a spreadsheet incident. A severe one? 3 departments were accidentally informed they were being audited. Aria closes her eyes slowly. How? It involved a formula. Of course it did. The good news is that nobody cried. The day is still young. I laugh. Aria looks up. For a second, she just watches me. Something warm flickers through her gray eyes. Then she says quietly, "Thank you for the flats the other day." My heart stops. Just stops. What? The shoes you bought me. I wear them when I'm in my office now. They're comfortable. Her voice softens, and she points to the ground where the slides I brought her the other day are resting beside her high heels. My feet appreciate surviving the day. I smile, the genuine kind, the kind I can't help around her. I'm glad. A strange warmth settles between us. Comfortable. Easy. Dangerous. Then my stomach cramps. Hard. I freeze. The pain twists low in my abdomen. Sharp. Unexpected. A second later, dizziness follows. The room tilts. My smile fades. Aria notices immediately. My pheromones must be stinking up the whole place. My body is on fire. I'm definitely going into heat, and it's way past the point where suppressants would help. Aria,
My breathing becomes uneven. Oh, no. No, no, no. My suppressants. I should have taken another dose instead of thinking I'll get back home early. The realization crashes into me. Heat. I'm going into heat at work. Humiliation floods through me. I grip the armrests. Maybe it's not. Maybe Then another cramp hits, and I know. Disaster. Absolute disaster. Aria goes completely still. Her expression changes instantly. Sharp. Focused. Predatory. Alpha. Lucy, my cheeks burn. Don't. Her gaze doesn't leave mine. You're in heat. I want the floor to open and swallow me. Immediately. Preferably forever. I know. I didn't think it would come today. Another dizzy spell hits. I sway. The room spins. And suddenly, Aria is there. One moment, she's behind her desk. The next, she's beside me. Strong hands steady my shoulders. Warm. Solid. Safe. My Omega instincts immediately relax. At the same time, they become even more aware of her scent, of her presence, of the fact that an alpha is holding me. My eyes sting with embarrassment. Sorry. Why are you apologizing? This is mortifying. Lucy? Her voice turns firm, commanding. The tone slips straight past my rational brain and settles somewhere instinctive. It's going to be okay. The words shouldn't help. They do. A lot. Then my knees buckle. Before I can protest, Aria catches me, effortlessly. Aria. No. The single word leaves no room for argument. She lifts me into her arms, like I weigh nothing. My face immediately turns scarlet. At least the office is mostly empty. If this happened at noon, I would simply have to move to another country. Aria carries me through the executive floor. The few remaining employees wisely pretend not to notice. Self-preservation is a valuable skill. The elevator ride feels endless. I rest my forehead against her shoulder. Her cedar wood scent surrounds me, comforting, steadying. My frantic thoughts begin to quiet. Not completely, just enough. The parking garage is cool and dim. Aria unlocks her car, a sleek black luxury vehicle that probably costs more than my apartment. She settles me carefully into the passenger seat, fastens my seatbelt, then kneels beside the open door. Your apartment or mine? I blink. My apartment. A pause. I don't know where you live. Right, of course she doesn't. I spend more time in her office than anywhere else. I'll be okay. Aria's jaw tightens. No. The word is immediate, certain, protective. My apartment is closer. I'll take you there. I have a spare room. I stare at her. She stares back. The CEO expression has vanished. What's left is something softer, something concerned, something that makes my chest ache. Okay, I whisper. Good. She closes the door, then gets in and starts driving. The entire ride is surreal. Every few minutes, Aria glances at me. How are you feeling? Fine. A look. Less fine than before. That's more accurate. 5 minutes later. Do you need anything? No. Another minute. Water? Maybe. Actually, yes. Very much yes. At a red light, Aria grabs a bottle from the center console and hands it over. I drink like I've crossed a desert. Half of it ends up on myself, and some splashes onto her seat. Oh my God. I stare in horror. I'm sorry. Aria doesn't even glance down. It's fine. I spilled water everywhere. It's water. It's your car. It's still water. It will dry. My chest tightens. Because she's being so nice, so patient, so gentle. I look down at the bottle. You don't have to do this. Aria's hands tighten slightly on the steering wheel. What? Take care of me. I'm your boss. This isn't your responsibility. Silence. Then, Lucy, I'm your boss, so your well-being is definitely my responsibility. Her voice turns low, steady, certain.
As an alpha, I'm not leaving an omega unalone and vulnerable during heat. I swallow. My heart beats faster. Especially not you. The last words come out quieter, almost under her breath. I don't think she meant to say them. I pretend not to notice, mostly because my heart is already struggling. You don't seem uncomfortable. A laugh escapes her, humorless, brief. I'm very uncomfortable. Your pheromones are literally making my body feel like it's in an oven. My eyes widen. Aria keeps her attention on the road. I'm also an adult. The muscles in her jaw tighten. I can handle it. Something about that makes me respect her even more.
Because I can see the strain, the control, the effort, and she's still focused entirely on me. "You should worry about yourself," she says. The command settles warmly inside me. My omega instincts practically melt. "Okay, there you go. That's a good girl." The approval in her voice sends another wave of warmth through me, and her calling me a good girl demolishes whatever was left of my brain. I feel my nerves melting at the endearment, my insides turning into a puddle. This is ridiculous. I am ridiculous. Eventually, we reach her apartment building. The place is exactly what I'd expect. Expensive, elegant, modern, floor-to-ceiling windows, marble, soft lighting, everything immaculate, everything beautiful, like her. Aria carries me upstairs, straight into her apartment, and suddenly I understand why she never talks about it, because it's stunning. The city stretches beneath enormous windows. Designer furniture sits arranged with effortless precision. The entire space feels calm, controlled, sophisticated. Very Aria. She carries me into her bedroom. The room is large, warm, quiet, safe. She lowers me gently onto the bed, then kneels beside me. "You're safe." The words are breathless, urgent. "You can nest here." My instincts seize on the permission immediately. Relief crashes through me. I don't even think. I just move. Blankets, pillows, anything soft. I pull them closer, arrange them around myself. A cashmere throw disappears into the growing pile. Several pillows follow. One of Aria's sweaters appears. I clutch it immediately. It smells like her. That helps. A lot. Even a plush throw pillow somehow becomes essential. My nest grows rapidly. Aria watches the process with surprising patience, then disappears. A minute later, she returns with supplies: water, snacks, cooling patches, a heating pad. She moves carefully, tenderly, pressing a cooling patch against my forehead, adjusting the heating pad, making sure I drink, making sure I eat. Every touch is gentle. Every touch is reassuring. Every touch makes me want her closer. Nothing works. The discomfort remains, the restlessness, the ache. Not physical. It's an emotional, instinctive, my body begging for an alpha to touch me and make me feel desired and wanted for my biology. I watch Aria stand as if she's preparing to give me space. "I'll leave you to nest in peace. If you need anything, just shout." Panic flares instantly. Before I can stop myself, my hand shoots out. My fingers catch her shirt collar. "Don't. Leave." Aria freezes. Her gray eyes widen slightly. The sight is so rare, it almost distracts me. Almost. "Lucy." My voice comes out small, embarrassingly small. "Please don't leave." Silence stretches between us, heavy, charged. Aria slowly kneels beside the bed again. "Are you sure you want me around?" I nod immediately. "I need you. Your alpha scent it's making me feel better. I need to be touched." The words escape before I can stop them.
Aria closes her eyes, just briefly. When she opens them again, something has changed. The careful distance is gone. She reaches up, brushes her knuckles lightly across my cheek. The gesture is so gentle, my chest hurts. Then she leans closer, giving me every chance to pull away. I don't. Couldn't. Not if my life depended on it. Her lips meet mine. She presses them against my mouth softly, tentatively, sending a shock wave through my system. She cups my face like she's handling something precious. My entire world stops. For one impossible moment, nothing exists except warmth, closeness, Aria. The kiss is sweet, careful, filled with months and years of things neither of us has ever said. When she pulls back, I stare at her, breathless, happy, so happy I feel like I might burst. An alpha's kiss eases the restless ache inside me. I feel wanted, desired, and my body mistakes that, thinking I'm going to be mating soon. Aria. Her name comes out like a prayer, a question, a confession, all at once. She brushes her thumb across my cheek. Lucy, did that make you feel better? Yes, but I need more. I tug gently on her collar, not wanting distance, not wanting space, not wanting this moment to end. Something warm flickers through her eyes. Then she leans down and kisses me again, and this time, neither of us pulls away immediately. The city lights glow beyond the windows. The nest surrounds me. Aria's scent fills the room. And for the first time in 5 years, impossible feels a little less impossible.
Chapter 3. Lucy. The first thing I notice when I wake up is warmth. The second thing I notice is Aria. My eyes flutter open. For one blissful moment, I'm confused. The enormous bed, the soft sheets, the unfamiliar ceiling. Then everything comes rushing back. My heat, Aria's apartment, the nest, the kisses. My face immediately catches fire. Oh no. I carefully turn my head. Aria is asleep beside me, and her arm is wrapped around my waist. My heart forgets how to function. The mighty Aria Vale, the terrifying CEO who could reduce grown executives to tears with a single raised eyebrow, sleeping peacefully beside me. The sight feels almost sacred. I've never seen her like this before. No sharp suits, no icy expression, no carefully controlled posture. Just Aria. Her dark hair is spread across the pillow. Without her usual composure, she somehow looks younger, softer, beautiful, dangerously beautiful. A loose strand of hair has fallen across her forehead. I want to brush it away. I don't. Mostly because I value continued employment. And because panic is beginning to set in. Last night feels distant now, wrapped in heat and instinct and emotions I'd spent years trying to bury. I remember Aria taking care of me, holding me, kissing me, staying beside me when I begged her not to leave. The memory makes warmth bloom in my chest. I don't regret it, not even a little. That's the problem. I should regret it. I should be horrified. I should be drafting apology emails. Instead, all I can think about is how safe I felt, how cherished, how precious she'd made me feel. For one night, I wasn't just Lucy the secretary. I wasn't the Omega trying desperately to stay professional around the Alpha she'd been secretly in love with for years. I was someone Aria wanted to protect. The realization hurts, because daylight changes everything. Heat is over, instincts are gone, reality remains. Reality says she's my boss. Reality says she's the CEO.
Reality says I probably violated about 17 workplace policies. I stare at the sleeping woman beside me. My chest aches. What if she fires me? The thought hits hard. Not because I'd lose my job. Okay, partly because I'd lose my job, but mostly because I'd lose her. No more morning greetings, no more coffee orders, no more watching her take over boardrooms, no more hearing her say my name. The idea makes my stomach twist. I can't handle that conversation. Not right now. Maybe not ever. Very carefully, I slip out from beneath her arm. Aria doesn't wake. I pause beside the bed, looking at her one last time. She really is beautiful, even asleep. Maybe especially asleep. Without thinking, I whisper, "Goodbye." Then immediately panic because that sounds far too dramatic. I grab my bag and flee. The entire commute to work on public transport is torture. The entire elevator ride is torture. The entire morning is torture. I spend 3 hours convinced I'm about to be terminated. Every email notification feels threatening. Every phone call sounds ominous. Every time someone says my name, I assume human resources is waiting around the corner. Nobody seems aware of my impending professional execution, which somehow makes it worse. At 10 o'clock, I accidentally schedule a meeting twice. At 11, I nearly pour coffee into a plant. At noon, accounting asked me a question and I answered with complete nonsense. By 1 o'clock, I'm emotionally exhausted. I can't do this anymore. I need answers, even if those answers are terrible. Especially if they're terrible. At least then I'll know. With the determination of someone marching towards her own doom, I stand, then walk towards Aria's office. My palms are sweating. My heart is pounding. This is it. The end. Goodbye, career. I knock. Come in. The familiar voice somehow makes my anxiety worse. I step inside. Aria looks up from her laptop. Immediately, her expression changes. Concern flashes across her face. "Lucy, I didn't see you this morning. I thought you'd taken the day off." That concern almost destroys me, because concerned people usually don't fire you. I hope. Before I lose my nerve, the words burst out. "Please don't fire me." Silence. Aria blinks. Once. Twice. Then genuine confusion settles across her face. "Lucy? For what?" I stare. "You know." "No?" "Last night, I threw myself at you. I went into heat at work. I didn't mean to, I promise. I didn't think my heat would come so soon." Realization dawns, then disbelief, then something suspiciously close to amusement. "Lucy." My face burns. I crossed boundaries. You were in heat. I still crossed them. Aria closes her laptop. Slowly. Carefully, like she's trying not to scare a frightened animal. "Lucy, I hate how gentle her voice becomes. I kissed you. You did. I begged you to stay. You did. I'm your secretary. Still true." I throw my hands up. Then why aren't you upset? Aria actually looks baffled. Why would I be upset? My eyes sting, because I don't have a good answer. Because I've spent years assuming someone like Aria could never possibly want someone like me. Because deep down, I've already convinced myself that I ruined everything. The first tear slips free before I can stop it. Wonderful. Perfect. Now I'm crying in the CEO's office. Professionalism at its finest. Aria's expression immediately softens. The Ice Queen vanishes. Completely. "Lucy." I look away, embarrassed. "Lucy." Then, suddenly she's standing, crossing the room, and before I can process what's happening, her arms wrap around me. I freeze. Completely freeze. Aria hugs like she does everything else, with absolute commitment. Strong arms surround me. Warmth envelops me. Her cedarwood scent fills my lungs. The steady beat of her heart echoes beneath my ear. For a second, my brain simply stops. Because this is Aria. Aria, hugging me. One hand settles between my shoulder blades, slowly rubbing comforting circles. It's okay. Her voice is low, gentle, the opposite of the voice she uses in boardrooms. It's okay, Lucy. Another tear escapes. Then another. This is humiliating and wonderful and confusing, and somehow exactly what I need. Aria's hand moves up and down my back, patient, steady, like she's soothing something frightened. You didn't do anything wrong. But no. The word is firm, not harsh, certain. Your biology isn't misconduct. I know you can't control when your heat comes or how needy you become during your heats. I know that you didn't deliberately try to take advantage of me. Your hormones were ruling your actions. I laugh weakly through my tears. That sounds exactly like something Aria would say. Practical, reasonable, completely impossible to argue with. She sighs softly, then says something that makes my heart nearly stop. You're so soft. I blink. What? Aria sounds faintly surprised by her own observation, like she didn't mean to say it aloud. Then her hand strokes down my back again. You're very soft. Your body is squishy. Heat rushes into my face. For some reason, that affects me more than almost anything else. Not because it's flirtatious, because it isn't. It's affectionate. The realization makes my chest ache. I don't remember the last time anyone held me like this. Like I mattered. Like I was precious. Like I was worth protecting. Aria's embrace becomes a cocoon. Warm. Safe. Sheltering. For a few moments, I let myself stay there, listening to her heartbeat, breathing in her scent, feeling impossibly protected. And somewhere in the middle of it, I realized something important. The woman holding me isn't the terrifying CEO everyone fears. She's still Aria Vale, still brilliant, still intimidating, still capable of firing vice presidents before breakfast. But beneath all that is someone kind, someone gentle, someone who stayed beside me all night because she couldn't bear the thought of me suffering alone. The realization is dangerous because I already loved her, and now I'm starting to see the parts nobody else gets to see. The soft parts, the real parts, the parts that make falling for her feel less like a choice and more like gravity. Eventually, Aria pulls back just enough to look at me. Her gray eyes are warm, steady, beautiful. Feel better? I laugh shakily. A little, a little, a lot. The corner of her mouth twitches, that tiny, almost smile I've always loved. Good. And suddenly, for the first time all day, I don't feel afraid, because Aria isn't looking at me like a problem, or a mistake, or an employee who crossed a line. She's looking at me like someone she cares about. And that realization changes everything.
Chapter 4. Aria. I've made exactly 3 mistakes this week. The first was wearing those ridiculous heels to the investor meeting. The second was allowing Lucy to buy emergency flats for me. The third was kissing her. The third is by far my favorite. Unfortunately, it is also the most professionally disastrous. I stare at the spreadsheet on my monitor. The spreadsheet stares back. Neither of us is accomplishing anything. My attention drifts toward the glass wall of my office. Beyond it sits Lucy. She doesn't know I'm watching. She's focused on her computer. Her brow is furrowed in concentration. A pen is tucked behind one ear. A few loose curls have escaped from her ponytail. She's beautiful. Not in the polished, magazine cover way that people describe me. Lucy's beauty sneaks up on people. Warm smiles, soft curves, expressive eyes. The sort of face that makes strangers trust her. The sort of face that makes me want to keep looking. I force my attention back to work. It lasts approximately 12 seconds. Then I'm staring at her again. This is becoming a problem. For 5 years, Lucy has been my secretary. For 5 years, I've maintained perfectly appropriate boundaries. For 5 years, I've ignored the way her smile improves terrible days, the way her scent settles my nerves, the way she always notices when I'm uncomfortable before anyone else does. Then she went into heat. Then I spent a night holding her. Then I kissed her. Now every professional boundary feels considerably more fragile. A knock sounds against my door. I look up. Lucy is standing there holding a file. She smiles. My pulse immediately betrays me. Wonderful. Need something? I ask. She hands over the folder. Just a signature. Our fingers brush. A tiny touch. Barely anything. My alpha instincts immediately pay far too much attention to it. Lucy doesn't seem to notice. Thank God. Because if she knew how often I think about kissing her these days, she'd probably sprint out the nearest window. I sign the document. She smiles again, then leaves. The office feels emptier immediately. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I glance at the clock. 8:30. Most employees left hours ago. A light still glows at Lucy's desk. Of course it does. She works too hard. A thought occurs to me. 5 seconds later, I'm calling her extension. She answers immediately. Lucy speaking. You sound surprised. You never call my extension. Perhaps I wanted variety. A pause. I don't believe you. Fair. I lean back in my chair. Order dinner. Silence. Then, okay. For 2. More silence. Okay. I open a menu on my tablet. Get the Wagyu. The what? The Wagyu. That's $90. Is it? Aria. I hear calculator noises. Actual calculator noises. I'm serious. One steak costs $90. I see. And this salad is $32. Tragic. $32. Lucy. What? Order the salad. A suffering noise leaves her. Then, do rich people know money has value? I considered that. Occasionally. You are impossible. So I've been told. A pause. Then her voice softens. Are you sure? The question is bigger than food. I hear it. Maybe she does too. Yes. My answer comes easily. I want to thank you for working so hard. Another pause. Then, I'd like that. Something warm settles in my chest. Good. An hour later, we're sitting together in my office. The city glows beyond the windows. Takeout containers cover my conference table. Lucy is still staring at the receipt. I could have paid 2 months of electricity with this. I sip my tea. Good food is important. It's a steak. It was an excellent steak. It better have solved world hunger. I laugh. Actually laugh. The sound surprises both of us. Lucy's eyes widen. There she is. There who is? The woman who occasionally experiences joy. I narrow my eyes. She grins. Dangerous woman. Dinner gradually becomes conversation. Conversation gradually becomes something deeper. Somehow, I'm not entirely sure how. Maybe because we're both tired. Maybe because we've stopped pretending. Lucy picks at her dessert. Can I ask something? You usually do. Her nose wrinkles. Why do you work so much? I could give the easy answer, the CEO answer, the public answer. Instead, I find myself saying, my parents believed excellence was the minimum requirement. Lucy's expression softens. I continue before I can stop myself. If I got 98% on an exam, they wanted 100. The words feel strange, too personal, too honest. They weren't cruel. I stare out the window. They were just distant, and the only way to get them to pay attention to me was my getting results that demanded their attention. Lucy listens quietly. No interruption, no judgment, just attention. It's surprisingly comforting. I spent most of my life trying to earn affection through achievement. The confession settles between us. Lucy looks down. I understand that. I glance at her. My family wasn't like yours. She laughs softly. No one has a family like yours. Fair, but I was easy to overlook. I was an Omega, and not a beautiful one at that. I had nothing that made me stand out. Something twists in my chest, because the idea is absurd. Lucy is impossible to overlook. I wasn't the smart one, she says quietly, or the talented one. Her fingers play with a napkin. So I learned to be useful. I immediately understand. Every extra task, every thoughtful gesture, every emergency pair of shoes, every perfectly remembered preference. Lucy doesn't just help people, she takes care of them, because somewhere along the way, she learned usefulness equals value. The realization hurts. Lucy, she looks up. You don't have to earn your place in a family. I've realized that recently too. Her expression changes, like nobody has ever told her that before. My chest tightens. God, I want to protect her. The thought arrives suddenly, powerfully, dangerously. The air feels quieter, smaller. The air changes. Neither of us looks away. I notice every detail. The softness of her expression, the warmth in her eyes, the faint flush in her cheeks. Beautiful. My pulse quickens. Lucy's breath catches, and suddenly I know. I don't want distance. I don't want professionalism. I don't want another month pretending I don't think about her. Carefully, I stand, walk around the table, stop beside her chair. Lucy's eyes follow me the entire time. Aria? I kneel beside her. The position feels strangely vulnerable. Good, I want vulnerability, just this once. My fingers lightly brush hers. May I kiss you? The question hangs between us. Lucy stares at me. Hope flickers across her face, then disbelief, then happiness, pure happiness. She nods. My heart does something ridiculous. I lean closer, give her every opportunity to change her mind. She doesn't. Our lips meet, soft, slow, deliberate. Nothing like the desperate uncertainty of her heat. This kiss is chosen, a decision, a beginning. Lucy makes the smallest sound. My chest tightens. I lift a hand to her cheek. She leans into the touch immediately. Trusting, warm, perfect. When we finally separate, neither of us moves very far. Our foreheads almost touch. The city lights shimmer beyond the glass. The office has never felt less like a workplace. Lucy's eyes meet mine, bright, hopeful, beautiful. I brush my thumb across her cheek. May I keep kissing you? Her smile appears slowly, like sunrise. Yes, please. The single word wraps around my heart, and for the first time in a very long time, I find myself looking forward to tomorrow. Chapter 5. Aria. I have always considered loneliness a professional requirement. People expect friendship, companionship, connection. I built a company instead. The company is significantly easier to manage. Companies don't leave. Companies don't disappoint you. Companies don't look at you with warm brown eyes and make you question every life decision you've ever made. Unfortunately, Lucy does. I glance through the glass wall of my office. There she is, working, as usual. She's leaning over her keyboard, completely focused on whatever administrative disaster she's currently preventing. A lock of short brown hair falls across her forehead. She blows at it. The hair doesn't move. She blows again. The hair remains victorious. I smile, then immediately stop smiling. because smiling at your secretary through a glass wall is how workplace rumors begin. The smile returns anyway. Lucy Bennett is a menace. 5 years ago, I expected her to last 2 weeks. Most secretaries do. One quit after 3 days. Another cried during her first staff meeting. One attempted to reorganize my calendar without permission and survived approximately 6 hours. Lucy stayed. Lucy adapted. Lucy somehow learned all my preferences, habits, and moods. She remembers things I forget. She notices things nobody else sees. She has become so integrated into my life that imagining the office without her feels strange. That realization is precisely why I've been hesitant. Because if this doesn't work, I lose more than a potential relationship. I lose Lucy. The thought makes my chest tighten. I don't want that. But I don't want distance anymore either. I've spent most of my life being cold, being careful, being alone. Then Lucy sat across from me and ate an absurdly expensive steak while calculating its cost in utility bills, and somehow that changed everything. The intercom buzzes. I press the button. Yes. Accounting would like approval for... Denied. A pause. You don't know what they're asking for. I've met accounting. Lucy laughs through the speaker. The sound warms me instantly. Dangerous. Very dangerous. I make a decision before I can lose my nerve. Lucy. Yes? I need you in my office. A pause. Then, that sounds ominous. Only slightly. A minute later, she appears. I motion toward the chair opposite my desk. She sits. Curious, beautiful, entirely too distracting. I clear my throat. There is a conference next month. She immediately nods. I've already prepared the itinerary. Of course she has. Would you like to come? Lucy blinks. I never come to those conferences. Not professionally. Now she looks confused. I understand. I'm confused too. This is unfamiliar territory. I force myself forward anyway. I would like your company, on a personal level. Silence. Complete silence. Then, oh. I almost laugh. The sound contains enough shock to power a small city. I'll pay for everything. Aria. It won't be billed to the company. Your suite costs over $1,000 a night. Yes. Per night. Still, yes. Lucy stares. You realize that's a ridiculous amount of money. It isn't. It absolutely is. Not to me. She groans softly. The sound is oddly adorable. I don't know. You don't? She hesitates. I can practically see her worrying. About money, about appearances, about being a burden. I hate that she worries about those things. Lucy. She looks up. I don't want to be alone after the conference. The admission feels surprisingly vulnerable. I would appreciate your company, and I want to give you the rest and luxury that you deserve. So, let me. The moment the words leave my mouth, she brightens immediately. Oh, then, okay. Just like that. I feel absurdly victorious, like I've closed a major acquisition, except significantly better. The hotel is ridiculous, even by my standards.
Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, fresh flowers everywhere. The sort of place where the lobby smells expensive. Lucy turns slowly in a circle. Do rich people ever get tired of luxury? No. Interesting. I hand over our reservation details to the receptionist. A few minutes later, Lucy discovers her room, or rather, her suite. Her eyes widen. Aria, yes? This place is bigger than my apartment. I glance around. She's right. Comfort is important. There's a piano. I pause. There is. Why is there a piano? I don't know. Lucy looks genuinely overwhelmed. Something soft settles inside me. I like giving her things, not expensive things, comfort, experiences, joy. The realization is alarming. Later, after the conference finally ends, I meet her in the lobby. She arrives wearing a simple dress. My train of thought immediately derails. Completely. The conference disappears from memory. So does the stock market, possibly language itself. Lucy smiles. "How was your day?" I stare. She raises an eyebrow. "Aria?" I recover. Barely. "Fine." "You're lying." "I am." She laughs. And just like that, the world starts functioning again. The rooftop restaurant overlooks the entire city. Lights stretch toward the horizon. Music drifts through the warm evening air. Champagne sparkles in crystal glasses. Lucy looks around, then at the menu, then back around. "This salad costs more than my first phone." "Your first phone must have been terrible." It was. The waiter leaves. Lucy leans forward. "How many conferences do you attend every year?" "Too many." "They're boring." "They are." "Then why go?" I swirl my champagne. "Because people like paying CEOs to attend boring events." That seems inefficient. Most networking is. Lucy nods seriously. "As your secretary, I support eliminating networking." "I'll inform the board." "Thank you." Our glasses clink together. The conversation flows easily, easier than it should. Office politics, conference gossip, executive drama. Lucy is fascinated by absolutely none of it, which makes her commentary significantly more entertaining. That keynote speaker talked for 40 minutes. Yes, and said nothing. Also yes, a remarkable achievement. I laugh. Again, Lucy smiles. The sight never gets old. Eventually, she becomes more serious. "You're really good at your job." The compliment catches me off guard. I set down my glass. "That means a lot coming from you." She looks surprised. "It does?" "You're the most competent person I know." Her cheeks immediately turn pink. Adorable. "Lucy?" "Yes?" "You're my longest-serving secretary." She groans. "That sounds so romantic." "I'm being sincere." "That's worse." I smile. She freezes. Apparently, I don't smile enough often. Noted. "You tolerate me." "I do." "You survive my standards." "Fairly." "I hope we continue working together for a very long time." For a second, something emotional flashes across her face. Then she raises her glass. "To our professional association." I raise mine. "To our professional association." We drink. A moment later, Lucy accidentally lets out the tiniest burp, then immediately covers her mouth, horrified. "Oh my God." I stare. She turns crimson. "Oh my God, please forget that happened." I start laughing, which makes her even more horrified. "I'm sorry. Lucy, I'm so sorry. Lucy." She peeks through her fingers. I reach across the table, take her hand. Her breath catches. "I want you to be yourself around me." The words come naturally because they're true. Her eyes soften. And for the record, I squeeze her fingers. "I find you incredibly cute." Lucy nearly chokes on her champagne. Excellent. The city lights glitter around us. The conversation slows, becomes quieter, more intimate. Lucy looks down at our joined hands, then blurts, "I like you." Silence. Her eyes widen. Immediately, "Oh no." I know that expression. The expression of someone who wishes they could climb into another dimension. "Oh no." I can't help it. I laugh. Not mocking, never mocking. Fond, warm, happy. Lucy looks ready to leap from the roof. Good. She blinks. What? I was hoping you'd say that you like me. I like you too, you know? Now she looks completely stunned. I continue because she's brave enough to confess I can be brave too. Talking to you made me realize something. What? I was lonely. The admission settles between us. I didn't think anything was missing. I brush my thumb over her knuckles. Then you came along. Lucy's eyes shine. I want more dinners with you. Her smile grows. I want more conversations with you. The smile grows wider. Then she asks quietly, Is that all you want? I meet her gaze. No. Her breath catches. I'd like you in my bed. The words are calm. Certain. I'd like to wake up next to you. She stares. I'd like to hold your hand whenever I feel like it. Her eyes become suspiciously watery. And I'd like to make you my girlfriend. A pause. Then, I didn't want to sound greedy by saying all that at once. Lucy immediately laughs, a watery, emotional laugh. That's not greedy. No? No. She squeezes my hand. I'd love to date you. My heart does something ridiculous. Then she adds, dating an alpha like you is basically a dream. I smile, properly this time, just for her. The elevator ride back upstairs is quiet, not awkward, content. The doors slide shut. Lucy stands beside me, still smiling. I reach for her hand. She gives it to me instantly, like she always intended to. I pull her gently closer. She looks up, questioning, hopeful, beautiful. I brush a strand of hair behind her ear, then kiss her. Soft, slow, sweet. The sort of kiss that feels like a promise. When we separate, neither of us moves very far. Lucy, yes? Would you like to sleep in my room tonight? Her smile returns immediately. Just sleep? Maybe more, if you're ready for it. She nods. I'd love that. Later, we're lying side by side in the enormous hotel bed. The lights are off. The city glows faintly beyond the windows. Lucy shifts closer, tentatively. I open my arm. She immediately curls against my side, like she belongs there. Warm, soft, comfortable. My favorite place in the world suddenly becomes wherever Lucy happens to be. We talk quietly, about nothing. Favorite foods, terrible movies, the conference, blueberries, which remain untrustworthy. Eventually, our fingers intertwine beneath the blankets. Lucy yawns, then cuddles closer, sleepy, content, safe. I brush a kiss against her hair, and for the first time in a very long time, I don't feel lonely, not even a little, because Lucy is here, and somehow that changes everything.
Chapter 6. Lucy. Dating Aria Vale turns out to be surprisingly confusing. Not because she's difficult. She's still difficult. But that's unrelated. The confusing part is that absolutely nothing changes, and also everything changes. For example, professionally, Aria remains my terrifying CEO. Personally, she now sends me text messages that make me smile at my phone like an idiot, which is a problem because I work in an office, and people notice things, especially when those things are me staring at my phone and smiling. I glance down at my screen. Aria. Accounting requested approval for decorative office plants. Me. What did you say? 3 dots appear. Then, denied. I immediately start laughing. A second message arrives. Aria. The plants know what they did. My shoulders shake. Across the office, one of the managers squints at me suspiciously. I quickly put my phone away. Professional, composed, normal. Unfortunately, I fail at all 3, because through the glass wall of Aria's office, I can see her, and she's looking directly at me. The corner of her mouth twitches, a secret smile, just for me.
My stomach immediately fills with butterflies. This is becoming a recurring problem. The weeks after our trip pass quickly. We settle into something comfortable, something warm, something that feels suspiciously like happiness. Private lunches become normal. Sometimes Aria orders food, sometimes I bring sandwiches. Once, she stared at my homemade lunch for 30 seconds and asked, "Is that a dinosaur-shaped carrot?" "It is." "Why?" "Joy." She considered that, then stole the carrot. The betrayal still hurts. Other times, we eat in her office, talking about work, talking about life, talking about nothing. Those conversations become my favorite part of every day. I like seeing the version of Aria nobody else sees. The one who laughs, the one who complains about investors, the one who secretly loves terrible action movies, the one who texts me pictures of suspicious-looking blueberries with captions like, "untrustworthy." She's ridiculous. I adore her. What I don't realize is that apparently everyone else realizes it too. The entire office, every single person, including people from departments I rarely interact with. I discovered this completely by accident. One afternoon, I'm carrying files toward legal when I hear voices around the corner. I pause, not intentionally, mostly because somebody says my name. "I'm telling you, they're dating." I freeze. Another voice replies, "They're absolutely dating. They had lunch together 3 times this week. That's not evidence." Aria smiled. A dramatic pause. Then, "Oh my God." Exactly. I nearly dropped the files. Slowly, very slowly, I back away, then immediately marched to Aria's office. She looks up when I enter. "Lucy?" "Good news." "Is it?" "No." She closes her laptop. Concern immediately appears. "What's wrong?" I sit down. "People think we're dating." Silence. Then, "They do?" "Apparently." Aria considers this, then shrugs. "Interesting." I stare. "Interesting?" "Yes." "That's your response?" "What response were you expecting?" I throw my hands into the air. "Alarm?" "Why?" "Because we're secretly dating." A pause. Then, "Ah." I narrow my eyes. "Did you forget?" "No." "You sounded like you forgot." "I was distracted." "Distracted by what?" Aria looks directly at me. "Your hair." I immediately lose my train of thought, because that's unfair. Completely unfair. Aria smiles. Tiny. Victorious. I point accusingly. "You did that on purpose." "Probably." The bond between us deepens. I notice it more every day. Aria's scent affects me differently now. Before, it was comforting. Now it settles something deep inside me. Like coming home. Like safety. Like certainty. The moment she walks into a room, I know. The moment she stands beside me, I relax. The moment she says my name, my heart listens. I don't tell her any of this. Mostly because I'm embarrassed. Also because some feelings are frightening.
Especially the bigger ones, the permanent ones. Sometimes her eyes drift to the place where my mating mark would be, then immediately away again. I know what it means. Everyone does. It's not something casual. It's a promise, a lifelong commitment, the sort of thing that changes everything. I would never ask for it, not because I don't want it, quite the opposite. The truth is that I want it far too much, which is why I keep it to myself. Aria is brilliant, successful, powerful, beautiful. Sometimes I still can't quite believe she chose me. And every now and then, a small, insecure voice whispers that eventually she'll realize she could have anyone, that she deserves someone better, someone more impressive, someone less ordinary.
I hate that voice. Unfortunately, it exists, so I ignore it, as best I can. One Tuesday afternoon, Aria calls me into her office. I enter carrying a notebook, prepared, professional, ready for business. Aria immediately ruins that. "Would you like to attend a gala with me?" I blink. Once. Twice. "A gala?" "Yes." "The fancy kind? Is there another kind?" "Fair." I sit down slowly. "What kind of gala?" "Charity fundraiser." "Oh." Then it hits me. My eyes widen. "Oh, you mean the Cancer Society fundraiser that's coming up this week? The one with celebrities attend? And the one with 1 billion photographers?" Aria notices immediately. Her expression softens. "You understand the implication." I do. A gala isn't lunch. A gala isn't dinner. A gala isn't hiding in her office after hours. A gala means photographers, executives, investors, the public. People will see us together. They will know I'm Aria's girlfriend. It will be forever associated with me. For a moment, I feel nervous. Then I look at her, at the woman I love, and suddenly the answer becomes very easy. I'd love to. The relief that flashes across her face makes my chest warm. "Good." Then she adds casually, "I'll send over a dress." "Absolutely not." "No." "Yes." "Aria." "Lucy." "I can buy my own dress." She leans back in her chair, calm, dangerous, CEO mode activated. Allow me to present a counter-argument. I immediately regret speaking. Okay. Spoiling my Omega girlfriend is one of my favorite activities. It makes me feel very alpha, very dominant, and I like feeling that way because I am an alpha. It's not a burden to me. Giving you things, taking care of you, is my biology. Heat rushes into my face. She continues mercilessly. "If you refuse, you're depriving me of that privilege." I open my mouth, close it again, because that's absurd and somehow impossible to argue against. Aria smiles. The shark has tasted blood. "You see my point." "I hate your point." "You love my point." I do, which is annoying. Eventually, I sigh. "Fine." "Excellent. You manipulate people for a living." I prefer the term persuade. "You're impossible." "So you've said." That evening, after work, I sit alone in my apartment, thinking. The gala, Aria, us, everything. My phone buzzes. A message appears. "Aria. For the record, you are not ordinary." I stare. My heart stops. Then starts again, faster. Me. "How did you know what I was thinking?" A reply arrives immediately. "I didn't." Pause. Then, "But you get that look sometimes." My eyes sting unexpectedly, because she notices. She always notices. Another message appears. "Also, I am very much looking forward to the gala." I smile, hopelessly, ridiculously, completely in love. And for the first time, the thought of standing beside Aria in public doesn't scare me. It makes me proud, because no matter how many people admire Aria Vale, no matter how many people fear her, no matter how many people wish they could have her attention, she's chosen me. And somehow, that's the most astonishing thing of all.
Chapter 7. Aria. I have attended more charity galas than I can count. Most of them blur together. Crystal chandeliers, expensive champagne, wealthy people congratulating one another for being generous, polite conversations, strategic networking, the same evening repeated endlessly. Tonight is different. Tonight, Lucy is coming, which means I spend an embarrassing amount of time checking my watch, then checking my phone, then pretending I'm not checking either. The dress arrived at her apartment this morning, a custom piece. Elegant, classic, beautiful. Not because I wanted to show off, because I wanted her to see herself the way I see her. And if that required employing one of the best designers in the city, then so be it. I am waiting in the hotel suite when the doorbell rings. My pulse immediately accelerates. Ridiculous. I'm 34 years old. I run a multinational company. I negotiate billion-dollar contracts. And somehow a woman knocking on a door turns me into an idiot. I open it, then completely forget how language works. Lucy stands there, smiling nervously. The dress is midnight blue. The fabric catches the light like liquid starlight. The neckline is elegant, the silhouette soft and graceful. The color makes her eyes look warmer, brighter, more beautiful. Her short brown hair has been styled away from her face. Delicate earrings glimmer at her ears. For several seconds, I simply stare. Lucy shifts. Is it too much? I nearly choke. Too much? The dress. I look at her, then look at her again, then a third time just to be safe. No. Oh, you look breathtaking. Her cheeks immediately turn pink. Good. Mine probably have too. Neither of us speaks for a moment. Then Lucy smiles, and suddenly the entire room feels brighter. Thank you. The words come quietly, sincerely. Something warm settles in my chest. A possessive little part of me purrs with satisfaction because I bought that dress, because she likes it, because she's here with me. Mine. The thought arrives naturally, dangerously naturally, and it doesn't scare me anymore. If anything, it feels inevitable. Lately, I found myself thinking about things I never used to think about. Coming home together, cooking dinner together, waking up beside her every morning, finding her reading on my couch, convincing her to move into my apartment. The realization should alarm me. Instead, it feels right. The Cancer Society fundraiser occupies the top floor of a luxury hotel. The ballroom is magnificent, towering ceilings, golden lighting, fresh flowers arranged everywhere, string quartets performing near the stage, famous actors, politicians, athletes, CEOs. Every powerful person in the city appears to be present. Lucy immediately gravitates toward the dessert table. Naturally. I find her studying a chocolate sculpture. What are you doing? She points, trying to determine whether this is art or food. It's both. That feels like it's trying to do too much. I laugh. Lucy beams. My chest tightens. Every time she smiles at me, it feels like a reward. The problem with public events is that everyone wants something. An introduction, an investment, a favor, my attention. Especially my attention. Lucy handles it beautifully. She remains beside me, confident, charming, funny. People adore her, which surprises absolutely nobody except Lucy. Then Melissa arrives and immediately becomes irritating. Melissa Hart is a senior executive from another company, smart, successful, aggressive, and unfortunately convinced that flirting is a personality trait. Aria, she smiles, too brightly. I was hoping I'd see you tonight. I politely shape her hand. Lucy stands beside me, quiet, observing. Melissa doesn't acknowledge her. I immediately dislike this. How have you been? Melissa asks. Busy. She laughs.
Chapter 7. Aria. I have attended more charity galas than I can count. Most of them blur together. Crystal chandeliers, expensive champagne, wealthy people congratulating one another for being generous. Polite conversations, strategic networking, the same evening repeated endlessly. Tonight is different. Tonight, Lucy is coming, which means I spend an embarrassing amount of time checking my watch, then checking my phone, then pretending I'm not checking either. The dress arrived at her apartment this morning, a custom piece, elegant, classic, beautiful. Not because I wanted to show off, because I wanted her to see herself the way I see her. And if that required employing one of the best designers in the city, then so be it. I am waiting in the hotel suite when the doorbell rings. My pulse immediately accelerates. Ridiculous. I'm 34 years old. I run a multinational company. I negotiate billion-dollar contracts. And somehow a woman knocking on a door turns me into an idiot. I open it,
then completely forget how language works. Lucy stands there, smiling nervously. The dress is midnight blue. The fabric catches the light like liquid starlight. The neckline is elegant, the silhouette soft and graceful. The color makes her eyes look warmer, brighter, more beautiful. Her short brown hair has been styled away from her face. Delicate earrings glimmer at her ears. For several seconds, I simply stare. Lucy shifts. Is it too much? I nearly choke. Too much? The dress. I look at her, then look at her again, then a third time just to be safe. No. Oh, you look breathtaking. Her cheeks immediately turn pink. Good. Mine probably have too. Neither of us speaks for a moment. Then Lucy smiles, and suddenly the entire room feels brighter. Thank you. The words come quietly, sincerely. Something warm settles in my chest. A possessive little part of me purrs with satisfaction, because I bought that dress, because she likes it, because she's here with me. Mine. The thought arrives naturally, dangerously naturally, and it doesn't scare me anymore. If anything, it feels inevitable. Lately, I found myself thinking about things I never used to think about. Coming home together, cooking dinner together, waking up beside her every morning, finding her reading on my couch, convincing her to move into my apartment. The realization should alarm me. Instead, it feels right. The Cancer Society fundraiser occupies the top floor of a luxury hotel. The ballroom is magnificent, towering ceilings, golden lighting, fresh flowers arranged everywhere, string quartets performing near the stage, famous actors, politicians, athletes, CEOs. Every powerful person in the city appears to be present. Lucy immediately gravitates toward the dessert table. Naturally. I find her studying a chocolate sculpture. What are you doing? She points, trying to determine whether this is art or food. It's both. That feels like it's trying to do too much. I laugh. Lucy beams. My chest tightens. Every time she smiles at me, it feels like a reward. The problem with public events is that everyone wants something: an introduction, an investment, a favor, my attention, especially my attention. Lucy handles it beautifully. She remains beside me, confident, charming, funny. People adore her, which surprises absolutely nobody except Lucy. Then Melissa arrives and immediately becomes irritating. Melissa Hart is a senior executive from another company, smart, successful, aggressive, and unfortunately convinced that flirting is a personality trait. Aria, she smiles, too brightly. I was hoping I'd see you tonight. I politely shape her hand. Lucy stands beside me, quiet, observing. Melissa doesn't acknowledge her. I immediately dislike this. How have you been? Melissa asks. Busy. She laughs. As always. Then touches my arm, briefly, casually, entirely unnecessarily. My eyes flick toward Lucy. Her smile is gone. Something twists painfully in my chest, because I recognize that expression. I've worn it myself. The expression of someone quietly convincing themselves they aren't enough. Before I can excuse myself, Melissa continues. Perhaps we should have dinner sometime, just the two of us, away from all these prying eyes, like we used to. No, absolutely not. I open my mouth, then notice Lucy taking a step backward. My attention instantly shifts. Nothing else matters. Not the fundraiser, not Melissa, not the conversation. Only Lucy. I excuse myself without explanation, then follow her. I find her standing alone on a balcony overlooking the city. The night air moves gently through her hair. She doesn't turn around immediately, which worries me. Lucy? Silence. Then, I'm being stupid. My heart sinks. I step closer. Why? She laughs weakly. The sound breaks something inside me. Look around. She gestures toward the ballroom. The women here are beautiful. I say nothing. She continues. They're successful. Closer. They're confident. Closer. They belong in your world. I stop beside her. Finally, she looks at me. Her eyes are shining suspiciously. Aria, I know you're out of my league. The vulnerability in her voice hurts, and I know eventually you'll realize, no. The word comes out immediately, firm, certain. Lucy blinks. What? No, don't say any more. I reach for her hand, hold it tightly. Do not finish that sentence. She stares at me, confused, hopeful, frightened, all at once. I lift a hand to her cheek. You think you're temporary, that I'm just dating you because I don't know what sort of person I'm meant for. You're wrong. I've dated all those pretty women before, and I've come to understand that none of them can offer me what I truly want or need. Silence, which tells me everything. God, how long has she been carrying that fear? Lucy, my voice softens. You are not just a fling to me. I have real feelings for you. I know what we have is special, and you are special. A tear slips free. I wipe it away immediately. You never need to compete for my attention. She closes her eyes briefly. I continue, because she deserves honesty, complete honesty. I choose you. Another tear. Every day. My thumb brushes her cheek. Every room I walk into, I look for you first. Her breath catches. Every success feels better when I can tell you about it. I smile faintly. You have become alarmingly important to me. That finally earned a watery laugh. Good. I was aiming for one. I step closer, until inches separate us. I've been holding myself back. She looks up. Why? The answer is embarrassingly simple. Because I was afraid. Her eyes widen. Aria Vale was afraid? Constantly. Now she laughs, actually laughs. Much better. I brush a loose strand of hair behind her ear. I was afraid that if this failed, I would lose you. The confession settles between us.
You aren't just my girlfriend. My voice lowers. You're my best friend, my best work colleague, my only confidant. Lucy looks stunned. As it turns out, I need you more than you need me. A small sob escapes her. Then she throws her arms around me. I hold her immediately, tightly, carefully, like something precious, like home. For several moments, neither of us speaks. We simply stand there, wrapped around one another, the city glowing below us. Eventually, Lucy murmurs, I love you. Everything inside me stops, then starts again, brighter, warmer, stronger. I pull back enough to see her face. I love you too. The words come easily, naturally, like I've been waiting months to say them, maybe years. Lucy smiles through her tears. Beautiful, perfect, mine. I kiss her gently, softly, not because anyone is watching, because I want to, because I love her. When we separate, I rest my forehead against hers. Move in with me. Her eyes widen. What? Move in with me. I want you in my house. I smile. Seeing you at work is no longer enough. A laugh escapes her, half delighted, half shocked. Aria, I am completely serious. I squeeze her hands. I want you in my bed, in my kitchen, sharing my bathroom. Her lips tremble. You do? I do. The answer is immediate, absolute. Lucy throws her arms around me again. Yes. Relief crashes through me, followed by joy, then excitement, then approximately 27 plans involving reorganizing my apartment. Lucy laughs against my shoulder. I hold her closer, and for the first time in my life, the future feels less like something to conquer and more like something to share with her.
Chapter 8. Lucy. Sometimes I wake up and forget that I'm living in Aria Vale's apartment. Then I roll over, and there she is. And my brain immediately short-circuits. Every single time. You would think after a month I'd be used to it. I am not. A month. 31 days. 31 days of waking up beside the woman I've been secretly in love with for 5 years. 31 days of stealing her sweaters.
31 days of discovering that Aria sleeps like she's negotiating a hostile takeover. One arm around me, one leg somehow draped over half the bed, complete territorial dominance, alpha behavior, ridiculous alpha behavior. Not that I'm complaining. I absolutely am not complaining. This morning, sunlight streams through the floor-to-ceiling windows while I stand in Aria's kitchen making breakfast. The kitchen is larger than my entire first apartment. Marble countertops, professional appliances, a refrigerator that probably has its own zip code. I crack eggs into a bowl, whisk, season, move around the space with increasing confidence. When I first moved in, I felt like a trespasser. Now I know where everything belongs, including myself. That realization still feels miraculous. The coffee machine hums behind me. A moment later, familiar arms slide around my waist. I smile immediately, without even turning around. Good morning. Aria presses a kiss against my shoulder. Good morning. Her voice is still rough from sleep. Dangerous. Very dangerous. I lean back into her. She smells like cedarwood and expensive shampoo. Home. My Omega instincts immediately relax. The bond between us has only deepened over the past month. Her scent settles something inside me, like a hand smoothing wrinkles from fabric, like safety, like belonging. Aria peers into the frying pan. What are we making? Breakfast. I gathered that. I roll my eyes. She kisses my cheek. The shameless bribery almost works. Almost. You're very demanding for someone receiving free food. I provide housing. Ah, I believe that entitles me to commentary. Unfortunately, it does. Satisfied, Aria steals a piece of toast. I smack her hand. She steals another piece. The woman runs a corporation, and yet apparently enjoys behaving like a raccoon. Living together turns out to be surprisingly easy, mostly because we both enjoy the same things: quiet mornings, shared meals, movie nights, existing in the same space, although we do disagree about one thing: takeout, specifically Aria's horrifying spending habits. Why are there 5 appetizers? I stare at the delivery receipt. Across from me, Aria looks entirely unrepentant. Variety. That's not variety. It is. That's a financial crime. She sips her tea, calmly. Lucy. What? You once bought generic cereal because the name brand version was $2 more. It was a matter of principle. You're proving my point. I narrow my eyes. She smiles, the tiny smile she reserves just for me. Traitorously, my heart melts. Again. The best part is the ordinary things: folding laundry together, watching television, finding my clothes mysteriously missing because Aria keeps stealing them. One evening, I discover her wearing my hoodie, my favorite hoodie, the beige one. I point dramatically. That's mine. Aria glances down, then back at me. It appears to be. Give it back.
No. Aria. It smells like you. I immediately lose the ability to argue because my girlfriend apparently fights dirty. The hoodie remains stolen. I never get it back. The happiness feels so big sometimes that it scares me. That's the truth. I keep waiting for something to go wrong, for reality to catch up, for someone to realize a mistake has been made, for the universe to decide I've had enough good things. I never say this aloud, but the fear exists, quiet, persistent, especially when I look at Aria, at everything she is, everything she's accomplished, everything she could have, and somehow she chose me. This morning, after breakfast, we prepare for work. Aria adjusts the cuffs of her charcoal suit. I straighten my blouse. We meet in the hallway outside the bedroom. For a moment, neither of us moves. Then Aria reaches for me, as naturally as breathing. Her hand settles against my waist. Ready? No. Excellent. That wasn't the answer. It was my favorite answer. I laugh. Aria's expression softens, the way it only does when we're alone. Then she kisses me. Slow, sweet. The kind of kiss that makes my knees feel suspiciously unreliable. When she pulls back, her forehead rests briefly against mine. I love you. The words still make my heart stop. Every time. I love you too. Her fingers intertwine with mine, then we leave together, hand in hand. For a few beautiful minutes, everything feels perfect. The perfection lasts exactly until human resources calls. Apparently, the universe enjoys timing. We're barely through the front doors when my phone buzzes. Then Aria's. Then both of us are being asked to visit HR immediately. My stomach drops. Oh no. Aria glances at me. What? Nobody has ever been summoned to HR for good reasons. Perhaps they're congratulating us. I stare. She stares back. Then, no. No. At least we agree on that. 10 minutes later, we're sitting across from two very uncomfortable HR representatives. The atmosphere feels tense, awkward, like everyone would rather be somewhere else, especially HR. One representative clears her throat. As you're aware, concerns have been raised. Aria folds her hands together. Calm, controlled, dangerous. Regarding... The woman visibly wilts. Your romantic relationship. Ah, there it is. I suddenly want to disappear. Aria remains perfectly composed. Continue. The second representative jumps in. There are concerns regarding appearances. Appearances? Potential favoritism. You are the CEO, and Lucy is much beneath you in the hierarchy. Aria's eyebrow rises, an entire degree, which is enough to terrify most executives. Lucy has never been promoted in 5 years. Has favoritism occurred? No. Has anyone filed a complaint? No. Has any company policy been violated? The representatives exchange a look. No. Then what precisely is the issue? Silence. I almost feel bad for them. Almost. The first representative finally says, the board would like to discuss the matter. They're worried that having the CEO dating her defenseless Omega secretary looks bad for the company's image. My stomach sinks further. The board. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Aria simply nods. When do they want to do this? Tomorrow. Fine. The meeting ends shortly afterward. I spend the entire elevator ride back to the executive floor imagining disaster. By the time we reach Aria's office, I've convinced myself I've ruined everything. Absolutely everything. The moment the door closes behind us, I turn toward her. This is my fault. Aria immediately looks annoyed. Not at me, at the statement. Lucy, no, it is. It isn't. They're questioning your leadership because you're dating me. They're questioning my leadership because they're bored. Aria. She steps closer. I take a breath, then another. My chest feels tight. What if this hurts your career? The words come out smaller than I intended. What if... Aria gently cups my face. The rest of the sentence dies immediately, because when Aria Vale decides to focus on you, the world tends to disappear. Her gray eyes lock onto mine, steady, certain, warm. Lucy, my heart stutters. You are not ruining my life. I blink. But no. Her thumbs brush softly across my cheeks. The gesture is unbelievably tender. You have made my life better. My eyes sting immediately. Oh? I mean that. I believe her. That's the dangerous part. I believe every word. Aria steps closer, until we're almost touching.
Listen carefully. The CEO voice appears, the one that makes entire boardrooms obey, except now it's directed entirely at me. I am not leaving you. The certainty in her voice steals my breath. Not because of HR. She kisses my forehead. Not because of the board. Another kiss. Not because of my job. My throat tightens. Aria, if I had to choose between you and this company, she pauses, then shrugs. As it turns out, I already know my answer. I stare at her, completely speechless, because this woman spent years building her empire, years, and she's standing here acting as though choosing me would be obvious. The realization nearly breaks me. Aria smiles softly. There you are. What? That look. What look? The one where you're trying not to cry. I laugh despite myself, a watery, emotional laugh. Then I step forward and hug her hard, immediately. Aria wraps her arms around me, holding me close, safe, steady, certain, like she always does. It's going to be fine, she murmurs against my hair. The words vibrate through me, comforting, grounding, believable. For the first time all morning, I start to breathe normally again. Tomorrow will come. The board meeting will happen. There will be questions, complications, problems. But right now, I'm standing in Aria's arms, and somehow that makes everything feel manageable, even the future.
Chapter 9. Aria. The boardroom has always been one of my favorite places. Most people find it intimidating. I find it predictable. Numbers make sense. Performance makes sense. Results make sense. People are the complicated part, especially when those people decide they have opinions about my personal life. The 23rd floor boardroom is already occupied when I arrive. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. The long walnut conference table gleams beneath the morning light. 12 directors sit around the table. Some look uncomfortable, some look irritated, a few look determined. None of them look particularly pleased. Good, neither am I. I take my seat at the head of the table, the seat I occupied for nearly 7 years, the seat I earned. The silence stretches. Then Richard Lawson, one of the senior directors, clears his throat. Thank you for joining us, Aria. I wasn't aware attendance was optional. Several people exchange looks. Richard sighs. We'd like to discuss your relationship with your secretary. Lucy. What? Her name is Lucy. The correction lands heavily, because that's part of the problem. To them, she's a title, a position. To me, she's Lucy, the most important person in my life. Richard folds his hands. The board has concerns. I gathered. A woman across the table speaks next. Perception matters. I lean back. Then let's discuss perception. The room goes quiet. She continues carefully. You're the CEO. Correct. She's your secretary. Also correct. There's a power imbalance. I nod. There is. The board members look surprised. Apparently, they expected resistance. Instead, I continue. There's also a power imbalance between me and every executive who reports to me. Silence. There's a power imbalance between board members and shareholders. More silence. There are power imbalances everywhere. Richard frowns. That's not the point. Then what is? The question hangs in the air. Finally, another director speaks. We're concerned people may think she receives preferential treatment. I almost laugh. Preferential treatment? Yes. I glance around the table. My company posted record profits. Nobody interrupts. We expanded into 3 new international markets. Still silence. Our employee retention rate is the highest in the industry. A few directors shift uncomfortably. And yet, we're spending an hour discussing who I eat dinner with. The point lands. Hard. Richard rubs his forehead. Aria, no. My voice remains calm, controlled. The same voice I use during negotiations. The same voice that has closed billion-dollar deals. I have given this company everything. Silence. I missed birthdays. More silence. Holidays. Still more silence. Relationships. My chest tightens unexpectedly, because that part is true, painfully true. For years, work was all I had. Then Lucy happened, and suddenly I remembered there was supposed to be a life outside the office. I look around the room. For the first time in my adult life, I am happy. Nobody speaks. Do you know how rare that is? The question hangs there. Heavy. Honest. Human. I'm not violating any HR policy. I stand. Slowly. Deliberately. I'm not violating ethics. The directors watch me carefully. And if this company expects me to surrender my personal choices in exchange for employment, I straighten my jacket. Then I cannot continue working here. The silence that follows is absolute. Richard stares. A few directors look horrified. One woman actually drops her pen. Good. They should understand exactly how serious I am. I built this company, but Lucy is my future, and I know which one matters more. Several long moments pass. Then Richard sighs, deeply. The sigh of a man realizing he's lost an argument. Nobody wants that. Excellent. Another director nods. We acknowledge your points. Someone else speaks. Provided all reporting structures remain transparent. Of course. Richard finally leans back. The board has no further objections. Relief spreads through the room, mine included, though I hide it better. The meeting ends shortly afterwards. I shake hands, exchange polite farewells.
Then leave. The moment the boardroom doors closed behind me, I stop being CEO and become someone desperately searching for her girlfriend. I find Lucy exactly where I expected, outside the boardroom, waiting. Her hands are clasped together, her shoulders are tense, her expression is anxious enough to break my heart. The moment she sees me, she stands. Aria? God, she's been worrying. I cross the distance immediately, wrap my arms around her, hold her tightly. Lucy melts against me. What happened? Her voice is small, fragile. I kiss her hair. Everything went well. She freezes. What? You can keep your job. Her breath catches. We can keep dating. Her eyes widen. Really? I smile. Really. The relief that washes over her is almost overwhelming. She laughs, then cries, then laughs again. I kiss her forehead. I can't believe you convinced the board. Didn't you tell me I was good at my job? Fair. She swats my arm. I kiss her anyway. Softly, tenderly. The sort of kiss that says everything words can't. When we separate, Lucy looks up at me. Still emotional, still beautiful, still mine. I love you. The words arrive instantly, without hesitation. I smile. I love you too. Then something occurs to me, something I've been thinking about for weeks, months perhaps. I take her hands. Lucy? She immediately looks nervous, which is adorable and concerning. What? Will you marry me? Silence. Complete silence. Then her eyes fill with tears. Again. She suspects this is my fault. Lucy? She laughs through the tears. This feels unreal. That's not an answer. Yes. My heart stops, then starts again, brighter than before. Hypothetically, she continues, smiling shakily, if I said yes, you did. If I said yes, you did. She laughs, then throws her arms around my neck. I want to spend forever with you. The words hit harder than any boardroom victory ever has. I hold her close, treasure the moment, the certainty, the choice, each other. After a long moment, she whispers, I'd like us to be bonded biologically. I pull back slightly, searching her expression. She's serious, completely serious. So would I. Her smile trembles. Mine probably does too. I brush my thumb across her cheek. The hallway around us fades away.
Employees, meetings, work, none of it matters. Only this. Only her. Only us. I kiss her gently, then rest my forehead against hers. My formal proposal was terrible. It was. I should have prepared a speech. You definitely should have. I laugh. Lucy laughs with me, and together we step into the future we've both been secretly hoping for since the beginning. A future that belongs to both of us, forever.
If you enjoyed this story, and if you want to read about Lucy and Aria's marriage in detail, check out the epilogue on my YouTube channel, which is part of the video containing part 3 of this audiobook. Scroll to the end of the video to listen. Thanks.